Modernism, also known as Art Nouveau, was an artistic and cultural movement in Western Europe from the late 19th and the early 20th centuries that in Catalonia had a special impact on the architecture and decorative arts everywhere throughout the country, also reaching Avinyo. The first modernist work is the Casa Abadal. In 1910, Antonio Abadal i Portella, who was a politician, lawyer and landowner, commissioned the project to the architect Alexandre Soler March, disciple of Domènech i Montaner, to whom he succeeded years later in the management of the School of Architecture of Barcelona, that was fully connected to the modernist architecture of those times. The works were complete, and the result was a beautiful example of Catalan modernism, where you can see all the characteristic elements and materials of this architecture, as stained glass windows with figurative patterns, and glass tiles and the famous colored trencadís in the spandrels of the windows, and the red brick that stands out outside, the white walls following the openings, the cornices forming the pillars of the frontage, and the towers and the battlements. It also highlights a cylindrical lookout tower that was originally topped by a high needle roof made of trencadís, which years later was eliminated because the temperature changes spoiled it. The house has high ceilings with exposed beams and have different designs in each room, such as plants, flowers and thin dragonflies. As a curiosity, note that they still keep the original wiring plugs and switches. Nowadays is the usual residence of his grandson. With this construction, the modernism reaches Avinyo, sharing an architectural heritage along with other works as Mas Gomis, also known as Mas Vila-seca. This house is dated from the 18th century, but it was not until the early 20th century when Luis Gomis from Manresa married Elvira Abadal, who decided to build a modernist-style building on the old farmhouse Vila-seca at ground floor, one stage, and an attic with an approximate area of 1,200 meters. It was from then that the new building was known as Mas Gomis. Thanks to these two buildings, Avinyo becomes part of Catalan modernism.